Welcome to the Real Estate Scripts Podcast, the show that helps you know what to say when you're talking to buyers and sellers so that you can close more deals and earn more money. I'm Darren Tunstall, a real estate professional, coach, and #1 best-selling author. Let's get into this. Before we begin today's episode, I want to clarify some important points. I am a licensed real estate agent and my DRE number is 018534445. It's crucial to note that this podcast operates independently of my affiliation with Keller Williams Realty and any realtor associations. My primary goal with this podcast is to provide you, our listeners, with valuable information, insights, and practical tools. As a reminder, the purpose of Scripts and Dialogues is to come, learn, practice, and be prepared to fail forward. This is where we make mistakes and help each other out, but we're mostly interested in seeing how we can get better. First, we read through the script word for word, and then we go back and put it into our own natural tone, style, and phrasing. You won't know what to say until you go through the script. So, with that said, many people will say, that's not how I sound, and I totally get it. That's not how you sound. But that is the reason why we practice every day, so that the script becomes you and in your own voice. So, read it word for word first, then go back and put it into your own natural tone, style, and phrasing, and I think it'll work out. Today's script is called I Want to List at My Price, then come down if it doesn't sell. So, still going over seller objections, and I'll go ahead and set this up. In this scenario, you are on a listing appointment with a potential seller. They want to list at a higher price than they think it's worth. Then lower the price if it does not sell. The requirements are strong communication and negotiation skills, in-depth knowledge of the local real estate market, ability to educate and address client concerns, and persuasive and empathetic demeanor. The intention is to help the seller recognize that waiting longer to get a higher price might cause the home to be sold for less. Not saying this is the end-all right way of doing things, but it is a conversation that should be had. And there's multiple ways of handling this, which I think Frida is starting to experience in itself. Let's go ahead and have Jim and Frida start the conversation out today. And Jim, why don't you be the agent first? And if someone else pops in, then I'll break us out. So when you're ready, Jim, you're talking to Frida.
Okay, so we've been talking for half hour or so at this point, right?
Yeah, you're about in the middle of the conversation. It could be, this conversation is typically had up front. You know, it's going to be had again later on. It can be had in the presentation. It can be had again as a reminder during negotiations as well. Which, like I was saying, Frida's going through this. She has a listing. It's something that she had to be aware of that could potentially happen. Now she's in a position where it is happening, and it's just a matter of reminder. All right, Bridget. Is it Bridget?
Good morning. Yes. Sorry, I'm a little late. I was having trouble logging on. It's my first time.
Awesome. Well, we're happy to have you here.
Thank you.
Christina's fairly newer too. She's only been on a couple of times, so that's why I broke out a couple of other people. Have you had a chance to go through the system and to see how it works?
I watched the video, your intro video of how it works, and then I kind of looked through the calendar. You have an incredibly organized system, by the way. I've never seen anything like it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. Have you been in the real estate for a while?
21 years.
Wow. Check you out. You're awesome. All at Keller Williams or what brokerage?
I had my own brokerage for a while, and then I came to KW almost 15 years ago.
Nice. Christina is out of Santa Monica, and she's with
Oh, cool.
Berkshire, I believe, right, Christina? Yeah. So we welcome all brokerages, anybody and everybody. We're here to practice scripts and dialogues. We're not here to recruit or do anything like that. So But anyways, I just wanted to make sure that I had the opportunity to at least share with you how the system works. I know Christina's fairly new to too, but I wanted to keep her here as well. With that said, I'm going to start this over as if we were just jumping on, just so that you can see how it works. And I believe Christina, she logged in a little bit late too, so she didn't hear the whole thing either. So this is how it works. So we come on, we go to the week that we're on. So today we're on week 17, and we go to Thursday. You click on that script for today, and this whole week we're working on seller objections. And today's script is called I want to list at my price, then come down if it doesn't sell. And in this scenario, you are on a listing appointment with a potential seller. They want to list at a higher price than they think it's worth, then lower the price if it does not sell. The requirements are strong communication and negotiation skills, in-depth knowledge of the local real estate market, ability to educate and address client concerns, and persuasive and empathetic demeanor. The intention is to help the seller recognize that waiting longer to get a higher price might cause the home to be sold for less. There's obviously, you've been in this business long enough, there's obviously multiple ways of handling this particular scenario. And it's not necessarily a bad thing to take a listing that's overpriced, but you have to have that conversation about, like, look, if we go by a week or two, we have to have that conversation about lowering the price. So obviously there's some things, but at the same time, if they're adamant about keeping it on the market at a higher price, and then time goes by, then people tend to start thinking, what's wrong with the property? What's wrong with the property? Now you got to lower the price even more than what you originally wanted. So they could be putting themselves in a position where they might not get what they want because they let it sit too long and now it's a tainted property. So there's other things too, by taking a home that's overpriced and you're spending marketing dollars, and if it doesn't sell, then you're out, $1,000, $1,500 on pictures and marketing and advertising and flyers, not to mention your own time. So there's multiple things that are going on. So let's go ahead and start this. You'll be the listing agent, Bridget, and because you're the much more experienced agent, and Christina will be your client, and you're sitting down with her at an appointment. The way that I usually like to do these also is read it in your own, read it word for word. Or if you're following ahead, you're welcome to put it in your own words as well. We just kind of use the script as a guide. So when you're ready, let's go. You're probably about 30 minutes into the conversation too, by the way, already. A lot of these scripts are just, we're throwing you in the middle of the conversation and we're at this point. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Okay,
Christina, go ahead.
Hi. So I just have to say that this is the price that I want, and I don't want to go any lower. I'm willing to wait as long as it needs.
Okay, I appreciate you sharing that with me, Christina. And I certainly respect that you want to get the most amount of money possible for your home. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so let's refer back to the triangle from the listing presentation. You know what that is, so I'll have to go look that up. Remember that a home that is priced at market value, 60% of potential buyers on the market will look at that property. When a home is priced 10% above, only 30% of buyers will look at the home. If the home is priced 15% above, you only see about 10% of potential buyers in the market. So pricing your home above the market value is usually a recipe for disaster, and we don't want that, right?
Right.
In addition to that, a vast majority of the showings happen within the first 14 days of the home. So if we price it wrong to begin with, and we go past 14 days, then we've already lost your big grand opening. Sorry, I'm going off script here a little bit. So here's how we can get more eyes on your home. Again, the market will attract about 60% of the potential buyers in the market When the home is priced 10% above market value, 75% of potential buyers will look. At 15% below market value, you will have 90% of buyers in the market look at your home. That's how we will get more eyes on your property and multiple offers for you to review. And that's what you want, right?
Right.
Great. So let's go ahead and do the right thing and price your home to sell.
Okay.
That was a lot of statistics.
So so that I'm glad you said that actually, because are we familiar with where that's coming from?
Um,
I'm assuming your listing presentation.
Yeah,
market, right?
yeah, it's actually a listing and presentation that's based on the stats that that Keller Williams and the real estate industry through NAR, National Association of Realtors, has put out. And I'm going to share with my screen with you all so that you can see exactly where I'm getting it. Plus, it's a good way to see the resources that we have that I've put on this particular site. So when you're on the website, do you all see my screen?
I see
Yes.
it.
Okay, perfect. So when you're on the website, you go ahead and click on resources here. And then I have presentations that are already done for you, buyer and seller presentations. And there's some marketing things that I've been adding as well. But in this particular case, the seller presentation, we'll go ahead and click on that. And by the way, there's scripts here, there's seller interview sheets. I mean, if you click on these, there's a pop-up full listing presentation. We record each session too, so there's a podcast as well, so you can listen to the presentation. Other people have done it. There's an interview sheet. All these questions here should be asked at some point during the appointment. If you don't know what to say, this goes right along with the interview sheet as well, with all the different things. And here's a 17-step process for selling a home. But I wanted to share with you, here's the actual presentation itself. And yes, you're right. There are a lot of stats, but it's more of a visual. And
Okay.
this is really what to share with your clients. And this is where it's at. You're giving them a visual of what this is. So basically, if you price, here's really the conversation. Look, if you price your home higher than what the market is, then less people are going to see it. If you price your home lower than market value, then more people will see it, which will encourage more people to come, more offers, and then through that, more offers, multiple offers, and then we have a bidding war, right? So that's really what this whole script is saying here. So it doesn't have, yeah, there are a lot of words. Absolutely. Do we have to use those? If you were to go back, looking at this, if you were to go back and put it in your own words, how would you say it?
Are you asking us?
Yeah,
Oh,
well, Bridget,
yeah.
because she was the seller's agent.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you're right. Assuming I have this in front of the client, it's definitely like I like numbers, but I need visual numbers, not just somebody touting off numbers to me.
Right.
So this is really helpful for people who are like me to be able to kind of see the visual. I was hoping there was a visual back there and we weren't just yelling out stats.
Yeah, no, you're literally in the listing appointment. You have your presentation there, and you're to the point when you're talking about pricing a home. So, like for example, you're going to go, oh, all right, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, just want to remind you, now this is the point where we're going to talk about pricing. Remember the triangle, and here's where it is. Here's what happens when we overprice a home. Here's what happens when we price a home below market value. And this is the visual that goes along with that script. So absolutely. It's surprisingly, I meet a lot of people who are both seasoned and brand new who don't have presentations. And I mean, visuals speak a lot, and you have to know what to say, and when to say it and who to say it to, because sometimes we have the engineer mindset who wants all the details, right? And then sometimes we have the bullet point people just like, all right, show me, is it high or is it low or is it in the middle? Period. So this does go along with that script, is what it is. And this is actually a triangle that is not from me. This is from the Keller Williams presentations that they put out. So I use it in our presentation as well. But these presentations, by the way, are completely available for anybody to download and use. This is the home selling process. And if you noticed inside of here, there is a 17 step to explain all steps. Now, that's just the ones that I identified. You might have something that's less, and you're welcome to change that, revise it in any way you like. So that's it. I just wanted to make sure that that's where that we all know where that's coming from. Yeah. So is that helpful?
Yes.
Yes.
Cool. Okay.
I'm a beginner. Anything that you tell me here, I'm like, wow, I'm all of it blow out. I'm like, that's amazing.
Well, take it with a grain of salt and make it your own too, because ultimately scripts and dialogues are supposed to be practiced. Number one, learn it and memorize it. Number two, internalize it to make it your own. And number three, customize it to put it in your own tone, style, and phrasing. So let's have Christina be the agent, and you're going to talk to Bridget, your seller, and I believe Carolyn is listening in for now. So, Christina, when you're ready, Bridget, you're going to start the objection.
I appreciate you showing me all these comparables, but I know that my home is worth more than the neighbors because I've got those really hard to find custom green avocado countertops from the 70s that everybody loves. So I know that my home is worth more than these comps. So I think we should list it at $1 million.
I understand, Bridget, and I appreciate the opportunity to work with you, and I respect that you want to get most amount of money from your home. Let's refer back to a triangle from listing presentation. Remember, when home is priced at market value, 60% of the potential buyers in the market will look at the property. When home is priced 10% above the market, only 30% of buyers in the market will look at the home. If the home is priced 15% above the market, you only see about 10% of the potential buyers in the market. Pricing your home above market value is usually a recipe for disaster. We don't want to create that, right?
Right.
Here's how we get more eyes on your home. Again, the market will attract about 60% of the potential buyers in the market. When the home is priced 10% below the market value, 75% of potential buyers will look. At 15% below the market value, you have 90% of potential buyers in the market who will look at your home. That's how we get more eyes on your property and multiply offers for you to review. And that's what you want, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's do the right thing and list your home to sell. So.
Awesome. So it's a very simple conversation, right? We're just talking about overpricing versus at market value versus underpricing. I am curious to go back and have Bridget do it again in your own words, in your own way.
Yeah, Bridget, you're so great. The way you even started. So
Is that too much to ask, Bridget?
You know what? Put me on the spot because that's probably the best way to learn, right? Through fumbling my way through. Okay, so I was actually looking at the listing presentation while she was going, so now I have to go back and find the.
Actually, just stay on that. Just stay on that slide
Okay.
because that's where you're at in the presentation.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Carolyn, are you talking today? Maybe
No,
not.
I sent you a direct message. I'm not available right now.
I always forget to watch the direct messages. No worries. Okay, go
You're
ahead.
good. I'm just listening in.
Got it. Go ahead, Christina, and start the objection.
hey, Bridget, I think my house is worth $1 million because I just installed new kitchen, new appliances, and I just refreshed my pool. So I'm willing to wait for offer for $1 million, not less than that.
Wonderful. I appreciate you explaining that to me, and I really appreciate the opportunity to work with you, Christina. So I wanted to show you this chart here because I think it's really helpful to understand from the perspective of a buyer when they want to go see a home versus choosing not to see a home. So if you look at the chart here, this explains that well-priced homes certainly attract more buyers and of course increase the chance of you having multiple offers, which typically brings you the highest buyer. So if you look at the chart, it shows here that if you price your home at market value, about 60% of buyers will look at your home. However, if we price it 10% above, it goes down to 30% of buyers. And then if we go 15% above, it drops all the way down to 10% of buyers. Now, do you want 10% of buyers that are approved to buy your home to look at it? Or would you rather have a majority of buyers come and see your home who are approved?
Well, of course I want a majority, but what if we will put a price lower and I want to even have a one offer? If I have one offer and I disagree with the price, and what would you do then?
That's a great question. So here in California, the way our purchase contract works is a buyer can offer you a price for your home and you do not have to accept it. So look at the price as more of our pricing strategy and not so much what the actual sales price is going to be. In this market, the buyers are going to tell us what the value of your home is. And if we price it well, for example, at market value or just below, we're going to see between 60 and 75% of buyers come into your home. You're much more likely to have multiple offers in that circumstance versus if we list your home at $1 million today and it just sits for a few weeks. Does that make sense?
It does. So how about 999? Would that work?
We're certainly getting closer now, aren't we? So the market is showing the value of your home to be around 900,000. So what I would recommend is that we list it at 899 and
with all my upgrades.
With all your upgrades, because the properties around you that don't have those upgrades are selling closer to 800,000. So yours will likely be the new high comparable when it sells, and all of your neighbors are going to love you for how high you sell your home for. But in order to get buyers in the door, we need to focus on a pricing strategy. So I would recommend at 899,000, and then the goal is to have multiple offers and they can bid each other up, and then we can see where the market gives us the value of your home. Does that make sense?
It does.
Perfect. Then let's go ahead and list it at 899. Here's the contract. Please sign.
Thanks.
There you go. Wow, she pushed back a little bit, which was awesome. How did that feel, Bridget, to put it in your own words?
I had a house that I sold, and the real estate agent, that's what he was saying, like, well, you have to take it now because this is what you asked. And this is not what I asked. I asked him to sell for more. But he said, let's just do, like, it was the same thing like the script, but I only had 2 offers, and then that one offers were like said like they cancel. So I had no station. I didn't like the price, but I sold it.
Well, different things happen. There's so many different scenarios that this particular conversation can take. I want to make sure that everybody knows, because the question was asked, hey, there's a lot of stats in here, right? And there are a lot of numbers, but this is a conversation that is to be had with the presentation in front of you. And in the presentation, there should be a slide, something similar to, I'll show you something similar to, well, hang on just a second. Here we go, share screen. Something similar to this slide in this presentation. So I'm sharing my screen now, and this is the slide. This is the triangle that it's referring to, and all the stats. So essentially, here's market value. You price your home above, you're going to get less buyers. You price your home below, you're going to get more buyers. That's the general rule of thumb. So that's the presentation, and that can be found on here by going to resources, and then you can click the presentation there. So how did everybody else do?
Seemed good.
Yeah. Okay. Bridget, how did it feel to put in your own words that way?
I felt a lot more confident with the script having the chart in front of me as a visual. I think it's really powerful. You know, what is the saying? A picture's worth 1,000 words.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and you did a great job at putting it in your own words. Very smooth. You obviously have been doing this for a long time, and you did a great job. So, do want to remind everybody now, it is just 1 minute past 9 o'clock. So if you need to leave, go for it. If you want to stay and have another conversation, I'll be on here for the next 15 minutes, but I want to respect everybody's time. So you're welcome to take off. Um, Otherwise, love it. Love it. So I am kind of curious to hear, well, Bridget, I would love for you to keep on coming back. I mean, it's nice to have your perspective on it as well as everyone else's. And I love the stories that Christina tells because it seems like you've ran into a lot of situations that you don't know how to handle, and this is helping you, it sounds like. So the good job on that. Perfect. Anybody have anything else to say or ask or want to talk about, discuss? I want to make a comment. Next week, I'm super excited. I wrote 4 brand new scripts all about internet lead generation. And specifically, it's week 18. Only one of them is up there so far, but the rest are going up soon. But they're social media internet leads when you either place an ad, somebody's visiting your website, or you're answering a call from a social post or something like that. These are very real conversations that happen. It's the stuff that I used to deal with a long time ago because I was doing a lot of internet lead generation. And that's where my book came from. So, if you're not familiar with the book, I wrote a book a long time ago that became a #1 bestseller called Sold: A Proven Social Media Strategy for Generating Real Estate Leads. Don't go out and buy it. The technology then doesn't exist now. So, but just telling you that these conversations I used to have a lot of, and I'm excited to bring them back because I feel like we can do that more of that nowadays. That's
I
it.
have a question then. You would you think that social media right now will help real estate and sales and buys more than like door knocking or mailing? What would you like? What's your experience social media and the old type of like school in real estate?
I think social media and internet lead generation um, is should be treated exactly like any other traditional type lead generation method. So for example, if you're going to door knock consistently. If you're going to mail postcards, do it consistently. If you're mailing them to your farm, then do a 12 direct once a month, once a month, once a month. So how does that translate to internet? You know, the internet is looking specifically for consistency, people who are showing consistency, showing good quality. So, for example, if you're going to post something, if you're going to choose a frequency, if you're going to post once a day, post once a day. If you're going to post once a week, post once a week, but just do it consistently over time. If you stop and there's huge gaps in between, then from my own personal experience and observation, because you can watch the stats go up and down through like Google Analytics or whatever you use, it's just going to shut off for a while, and then you have to bring it back. So if you're going to write an article and post it as a blog post, do it once a week, do it once a month. I don't really care. Just do it consistently. Social media, if some people can fall into the trap of doing it like 2 times a day, 3 times a day, and then later on they get burned out. Just choose a very consistent frequency, and that's, in my opinion, what the algorithms are looking for is the consistency factor. Because it's very
Mm.
easy to get burned out on posting twice a day, 3 times a day, 4 times a day. Very, very, very easy. So choose like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or a Tuesday, Thursday, and use systems like a buffer or a Hootsuite or a system that you're familiar with, even certain databases. For example, I know Keller Williams has Command that has social media built into. You might have something through Berkshire Hathaway that has something built into theirs. But but there's third-party systems like a Buffer that are free. And to a point, I mean, obviously they have higher packages, but you can use the free version to post like 30 days in advance, and you just go once a week, twice a week, 3 days a week, once a day, twice a day, 3 times a day, whatever you want to do. So you'll have to choose that. I just say stay as consistent as possible. I used to ask this in the past with seasoned realtors. I used to ask, what would happen if you stopped making phone calls? And they're like, well, I wouldn't do any business. And I said, same exact thing with social media. If you stop posting, then it's just gonna gradually go away.
Mm,
Does that make sense?
yeah, it does. That makes a lot of sense.
I just feel as in our times, social media is just everything. Because if I meet someone in real estate, the first thing you go on their social media to see, like what are they posting and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It definitely plays a big role in
It's
marketing.
like your resume
Yeah, it
nowadays.
does. It does. It plays a big role, and um, it's important to recognize that. I'm just saying, don't let it consume you, mostly from a health and mental perspective, because you can get really caught up in that whole world. Use it as a tool to help build your brand and help build mind share. But you control it. Don't allow it to control you. And
Yeah, the
that's
reason I ask is because my thought was, should I do the mailing cards every month, or should I sign up for social media, kind of like a marketing team for me?
mhm.
So that's that was like I'm trying both, so we'll see. I mean, like I tried couple month the social media team, and I don't really see any new followers or anything like that. So maybe, as you said, I have to wait longer to see
How
results.
long have they been doing it for?
About 2 months.
About
That
two
would be
months.
3 months. Yeah.
Okay.
So far,
And
nothing changed.
um well, I mean, there's so many different questions that I would ask about that. Number one, are they using specific keywords? Is it geographic specific? What type of images are they using? There is a technique in to the madness of, trying to attract people that way. Traditional type marketing, like you said about postcards. Same type of question. What type of images? What is the message? Are you very clear on the message? On what you do, or is it just, hey, it's time to sell, right? Or are you actually creating a very clear message like we help people do this, you know, um, and talk to the particular target market. Um, so without seeing everything, there's a ton of questions that I would ask. Uh, you know, there's other things too that I want to mention in this conversation. You have to play a lot of red light, green light, especially when it costs you money, because I mean, the rule is do it consistently, right? And if you're going to do, for example, a 12 direct, which is once a month mailers to people that you don't know, for example, a farm area, it gets very expensive. And if you have the finances to cover those expenses, then okay, that's one thing. And you're willing to, put that money out. If you don't have the finances for it, then I would play red light, green light and not put yourself in debt for it either. So there are many free types of things that you can do. You can go to networking events, you can knock on doors, you can call people. Those are things that require your time, but don't require money. Um, so I just want to make sure that we all understand that protecting your finances is important too. Because it's very, very easy to go and spend, $500 here, $1,000 here, $1,200 here. And I mean, I just got a phone call at 7:30 this morning, somebody asking me if I wanted to buy some lead program that they had, right? And I get these all the time, at least 3 days a week. We have a lead program. We have a lead program. Want to pay us, want to pay us. My simple answer, by the way, to that is, look, I'm willing to work your leads. I'm willing to take your leads and pay you a referral fee, but I only work through the California referral fee agreement. And that's it. So if you're
I
willing
like
to
that.
allow me to, if you're willing to allow me to pay you that way, then okay, I'll work your leads. But I've never had anybody take me up on that because those companies are not in the business of wanting to receive referrals. They're in the business of charging a service fee each month. So,
Mhm.
but if you think about it, how do realtors work when it comes to referrals? See, they're using leads and referrals and they're using my language, but the language back to them is the contract. Look, I'm willing to do it, but through a referral fee agreement. That's it. No fees. Not until it closes.
Yeah.
So, that was a really long way of answering it, but I just wanted to make sure that, look, you know, you have to determine whether you want to spend the money to do that for your own business. I'm just saying be a little careful, and be consistent with whatever it is that you choose to do.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think, Frida? You're on mute, I think.
I agree with you. Totally I agree totally with what you said. I think the consistency is the piece. That's interesting with what you said about nobody ever took you up on your offer to work through the California agreement for compensation. So that says a lot.
Oh yeah, I said that this morning and she just simply said, "Okay, well, thank you," and hung up. I have it documented in text. In fact, here, let me even pull up uh I'll show you. Hang on just a second. Um
It looks like they don't even believe in themselves if they, they don't want to
Here,
sign
I'll
contract with you.
exactly. Here, let me share my screen with this, and I want to show you that I'm not just saying things like, "Hi Kim here, this is the message from them. Hi, Kim here. Do you do referrals? I have prospects in your area with a 20% referral fee at closing. Can we chat tomorrow? If yes, what time works best? I do work referrals only by using the California Referral Free Agreement, RFA. That's it. And no response after that. You know, here's others. Hey Darren, Helena here. Helena, yes, I take referrals. California, I use the referral fee agreement. Is there something is that something you do or you use too? And Thursday works for me, discuss whatever. Hi Darren, Joyce here. This is a different person. Hey Darren, so I only take referrals via referral agreement. If you want cold opportunity, just download our app for free. If you want warm leads, let's schedule a demo and we can run you through our options. I only take referral fee agreements I only take referrals through the California referral fee agreement. I'm telling you, they don't want they're saying, let us give you leads for referral of 20% or whatever their rates. But every time I use this phrase, I never get a response.
Hmm.
But I will tell you, this is the only way that you should work referrals through our California referral fee agreement. Who here has done referrals?
I've done the referral agreement, but that's in another state. Remember the
Christina, have you ever been paid through a referral, like from another state? I've been paid a lot through other referrals. and I'm telling you that that's the way to do business with agent to agent. That's the way to do the business, agent to agent. It's the only way to do it. And by paying these fees and services and things like that, the challenge that I have with certain programs, and I don't want to mention any names, that there are a whole bunch of other agents that are on it and everybody's getting the same lead. It's just not it's just not a viable way of doing business for me, that's for sure. So use that. Christina, you're on mute. I think you said something. But anyways, that's about it for today. I do have a couple appointments to go to, but I appreciate you all staying on and having this discussion.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye. All right, so that's the script. I hope that you found it useful. Just head over to realestatescriptspractice.com for more resources and downloads. This podcast is for the purpose of education only, and it does not make any guarantees. We suggest you seek out the help of your broker, coach, mentor, CPA, or attorney. Brought to you by Darren Tunstall, California DRE number 018534445.